So what you're looking at there was the Perkins 4.108 52 horse marine engine. That's been quite the bear. We sailed up here a couple years ago to Moss Landing from San Diego, and about halfway had a runaway diesel. The engine just started revving to probably 4,000 RPMs, just maxed out, shooting white smoke out the exhaust. We definitely knew we had a problem. So we tried to use the motor as little as possible and sailed the majority of the way and fired the motor up just at the last second, right when we were approaching the entryway, the inlet to Moss Landing. So unfortunately it sat for a long time in the condition that it was in. We took off for a year and nobody was really on the boat, and then I've been here for the past year, but just now got the funding and whatnot to start being able to really turn wrenches and put money into this thing. So the first thing we did is start checking the fuel and whatnot, and I pulled the injectors out and had all the injectors tested, and every injector was bad, probably due to water. So I had all 4 of the injectors rebuilt. I pulled the injection pump out to take a look at it and see whether or not it needed a rebuild, or just to check it out. Someone had suggested that, and I took it out and felt the shaft that has gears on it, which meets up with the timing gear of the engine, and it was really loose, and the steel where the shaft goes through the housing in the front of the pump was shot, and as I twisted it by hand, fuel came out of the correct outlets, but it also came out of that shaft, which explains why our oil was a little bit thin, because diesel was seeping past that seal and getting into the engine gearing. So we dropped $750 and got a new injection pump and installed the new injection pump, and cleaned out all the lines and put fresh fuel in, and now we're at the point of trying to start it, and it didn't sound quite right last night when we were trying it, or yesterday evening. So I called this Vietnamese guy that works across the street. He's a diesel mechanic, and came by for a few minutes and took a look, and came down here and checked it out while I turned the key, and made a few suggestions and showed me a small spot where maybe the injector wasn't seated really well, and I tightened that up, and now it's cranking over a bit better. You can hear the motor building compression. But one of the things that he told me to do when I had those injectors out, he told me to pull all the injectors, check everything again, and the main thing was to put oil in the injection holes onto the tops of the pistons and the cylinders, so that hopefully that oil can begin to seep into the seals, and the rings, and start to build that seal against the cylinder wall and increase the compression, and hopefully start burning the fuel that's getting dumped in there. The fuel's definitely getting there. It's just I think it's just not building enough compression. So we put some oil in there today and tried it again, and it sounded much better today and much closer. So he suggested to soak it in oil, put some more oil in there, and let it soak overnight, and really try and build that compression up. It's kind of scary to think that that's what could make or break this thing starting, but it sure sounds close. So hopefully that's it. It's definitely crunch time. Pushed it to the limit. Everyone, I think, is beginning to pull their hair out and wonder if I'm really going to get this engine running, but it's close. Not everyone's here yet anyway. It'd be nice if it was running now, but I've got faith. Sounds good. Starting to come together, working out the kinks. Hasn't started in a long time, so it needs to clean itself out. But anyway, yeah, it's a 52 horse motor. It's got a seawater exchange system. The closed loop cooling system passes through a heat exchanger and gets cooled by salt water. It's spat overboard through a wet exhaust. It pushes the boat pretty comfortably, about 6 knots or so, cruising. Yeah, hopefully we can get it running. Anyway, just wanted to take a minute to let you know what was going on with the engine and show you this aspect of the Argonauta and this project. Hopefully we'll be bringing some more issues like this to the table for you gearheads out there, guys who are curious about this type of stuff on the boat. Thomas signing out.